Here we are at Iowa for the 6th Gatorade Cup Series Chase race of the season, the Krispy Kreme 400 short track racing in the chase. On the pole, in fact, your front three starters are chasers Jonathan Raynes in the 29, who's outside the 9 of Justin Heath. Then Levi Shones in 3rd, Jonathan Beefer in 4th, and rounding out the top 5, Andrew Miller. Then TJ Henley is 6th, Jay Jefferson 7th, Tim Randolph in 8th, William Seaman in 9th, and Eli Bright rounds out the top 10. The rest of you have Carr, Friesen, and Points Their Griffin, then still starting up front inside the top 15, but is on the outside and could definitely fall back if he doesn't get down low. They have Jake Galloway in the 11 and Lawrence Poundpound in the 32. Then there's Stuart Gratton and Carson Bowers, Max Anderson and Michael Canto. Then Kyle Perry and Jeff Bright, Steve Larker and Colton Yo. Then there's Michael Gregory and Trey Rainey, Alex Stewart and Tim Gary. They have Steve Morgan and Riley Spurley-Tube, Donovan Dewitt and Nathan Stapleton. Then there's Diego Yepez and Emmett Juckham, Justin Zeidel and Joe Jefferson, Isaac Nichols and Brendan Reed. Then there's Luke Rainey and Derek Hamill, Code Luigi and Alexander Rowan. Finally riding out the field, Luigi Octavo, your lowest starting chaser, with his outside being the 24 of Brandon Tharp. That's your 40-car starting lap. Jonathan Raynes leads to the green flag after this starting command.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Take a nice deep breath, buddy. Settle in, relax. Give your seatbelt a slow tug and tug on your steering wheel one more time for me. Good luck, bud. We'll see you at the end of this deal.
And the 42 race cars fire off here to duke out the Iowa Speedway. The first time the Gatorade Cup Series come here in a while. It's been a long time, so these drivers want to put on a show for this Iowa crowd. 60 laps they'll have to do. It's going to be a pretty long race. 60 laps, a lot of laps. The Krispy Kreme 400. Front three are chasers Jonathan Raynes, who swept Phoenix this track just like Phoenix. He'll lead us to the green flag. Green flag, we're racing. Raynes went way up the racetrack in 1 and 2, allowed the 14 to close in, but keeps it down to the bottom lane 3 and 4. And lap 1 is led by our pole there, Jonathan Raynes in the 29. One of your chasers out front. Shones to second. Here comes Miller for that second position in the 31, trying to get there to help his teammate. Yeah, but Miller way tight down low, and Heath got a great run off the top side. But Miller's going to keep that third position. The front two get away. Shones right on the back of that 29 of Raynes. In fact, he's looking to the inside now as they come off turn number 4. From the crowd. See the view they kind of have there, just a little bit higher. Shones out front, and now he's going to clear Jonathan Raynes to get to the race lead. And can Raynes slot in second from his teammate Miller? He does, but that 31, I don't think he was too happy about that. He's all but pushing that 29 off into the corner. He's looking to the inside now. I think Miller took exception to the move. That 29 pulled! Contact, chasers and teammate! Raynes got to Shones, down to Miller. They saved their cars, and we're still racing. That could have been a big crash. Your front three all make contact. Now Shones has a battle with Andrew Miller down the backstretch. Non-chaser battling to the inside of a chaser. Miller won at Bristol. He's looking to get another short track win in the Gatorade Cup Series. He's done very well with these short tracks. Miller's going to lead by a nose. In fact, his first Gatorade Cup Series victory almost came at Phoenix last season, where he and Trey Rainey had a great battle for about 20 laps at the end, and he just fell short. But man, Miller knows how to get around these short tracks. And with Iowa being just like Phoenix, we talked about how Jonathan Raynes swept at Phoenix this season. Starts on pole here. I don't think that's any... Whoa, 4 wide! Jefferson with Seaman and Heath! Seaman through the grass! How's this going to turn out? They save it! Seaman loses a ton of positions but keeps his car in one piece, and we're still green flag racing. They went 4 wide and didn't crash. They crashed. They didn't know they crashed. What a save by the 99, the 9, the 78, and the 6. And Miller's gotten away as the battle for second is Jonathan Beeford and Jonathan Raynes. Here comes Carr Friesen. He was just sideways down the front stretch, almost into the grass, but that didn't phase him. He's going for third 3 wide. Shones up to Buford, put that 4 car in the wall. Shones wants to get clear of that 9-9, get down low for third, but Friesen's still down there with the 9 of Justin Heath pushing him, trying to push him forward. He wants that position from Shones. That'd be 1 point towards the standings. Oh, Friesen really tapped the track, pushes Shones up. And the 9 of Justin Heath's going to go for third now. Jake Jefferson, the 78, is coming. Trying to break a long winless streak in this Gatorade Cup Series. Dates back to season 4 in the 600 at Charlotte. Now we're in season number 6. in the final few races of the season. So, you know, he definitely wants to get one badly. He's up inside the top 5 now as he gets up to the 5th position from Shones. And Miller and Reigns, 2 RCR teammates, have pulled away. 1-2. Friesen is now 3rd. Jefferson up to 4th. He's going to be going for 3rd now, though. That 78 car's coming to life. Look at him move around the 9-9 to get to 3rd. Not quite yet, though. Friesen got good off the top side. Jefferson moves that 9 up the track, and the 78 is up to 3rd. Friesen now balanced. Jake Galloway's come out of nowhere. That 11 Sports Clip Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing is going for that 4th position on Carter Friesen in the 9-9. Reigns goes to the track. Jay Jefferson going to try and take advantage there and close in a little bit. Back there, they're getting pretty close. So with the battle for the lead and the front 3 kind of settling down, Griffin, we mentioned, started inside the top 12 and 12th. When we mentioned he's on the outside, he could definitely fall back, and he did fall back just a little bit, though. He's back to 20th now. So, still going to lose points to some drivers, but some of the others that are up there in points, like Cole Luigi in the 42 is up there. He's back in 34th. Luigi Octavio is 35th. So these drivers, they need to get going. They would need a caution, though, I think, to really get caught up, and maybe something with pit cycles. That could definitely happen. We know how Iowa can be. We'll just have to see how this race plays out. Still a long ways left. Just under 50 laps goes. Look at 4nd. Jake Jefferson, he's on charge. Going to the inside of Reigns for that 2nd position. Maybe some contact there. He pushed that 29 up the track and rubs him up the track and almost puts that 29 to the wall. They're making contact. Some short track racing, but Tim Randolph's going to take the advantage of this and get all the way to 2nd in 1 and 2. Yeah, I don't know if Reigns is going to like that. He might repay that 78 sometime in the future. Could be even this race. Jefferson's falling back to that 29. I would not be surprised to see the 29 maybe spin the 78 out, because I would definitely take exception to that. If I'm a chaser and the 78 did that to me, I wouldn't be too pleased. Miller's loving what he's seeing. They're battling for 2nd behind. They're going 3 and almost 4 wide. He's like, keep on going, boys. I'll just drive off into the sunset and win another Gatorade Cup Series race. 45 laps to go this time. Carter Friesen has moved his way back inside the top 5, back up to 4th. As Jay Jefferson and Jonathan Reed continue to slip back. Jefferson has a hold down low if he can get down in front of that 14 of Shones, but Shones might keep that for him. He might drive it down to the bottom lane and make sure he's down there. Jefferson's trying to crown down, getting a little bit tight there. So they still battle for 2nd. Look at Friesen going for a 3rd on Tim Randolph. Galloway's now up to 2nd, but even with them battling, Miller's not really pulled away that much. He's definitely gapped, but that gap's staying pretty consistent. So I'm really surprised that the 31's not like half a lap ahead with how they've been racing for 2nd. Here comes Friesen. The 99 tight down low, but he's going to get a great drive off the corner. He might beat that 11 down the straightaway. Down the backstretch he comes. Friesen underneath the 11. So they hit turn number 3. Shones slides up, trying to take Randolph's line away. And just puts that 92 into the wall there. This is some great balance. This is some great short track racing. Classic short track racing. Beating and banging. They're not wrecking, though. This is the great part about this track. You can beat and bang. You can keep it under control, though. Control chaos. So I like to call this track. So Carter Friesen now going to try and run down Andrew Miller. Both those guys looking for their 2nd win of the season. There's Jake Galloway in 3rd. Levi Shones looking for his 5th win of the season in 4th and trying to gain points towards the points lead that Griffin Lim right now currently holds. And Jay Jefferson, as we mentioned, trying to break that long win the streak in 5th. Justin Heath trying to get some more points. Tim Randolph, Jonathan Reigns, the same as Heath. Eli Bright's trying to break a long win the streak. In fact, it's longer than Jefferson's, and teammates are beating and bang back here. Seaman takes that 16 Larker with the racetrack, and Larker's going to drop back about 2 or 3 positions back to 15th. He was in 12th when that happened, as Seaman takes that spot and more. The crate battles up front here. Jay Jefferson for 3rd. Carter Friesen's gotten away in 2nd for now. That not clear. Jefferson, man, he's not racing these chasers like they're in the chase. He's like, you're a racer. You're here with me. I'm gonna race you like I race everyone else. 40 laps to go. Jay Jefferson moves away up to 3rd. Justin's back up to 4th. The big cycle here at the front. Carter Friesen's been able to keep 2nd. Can he run down the 31 Miller though? That's a big question. Kind of get a little bit of separation in the pack right now. The front 10 have kind of gotten away. Then 11th on back. I guess that's the front. That's the front 11, yeah. And 12th on back here, kind of back here. Griffin Lim making a big charge back up to the front. He's back up to 15th now. Passing some chasers, doing it past Kyle Perry, one of the chasers. Here's Jeff Bright, a chaser. Cole Luigi is making ground. He can definitely get a point from Jeff Bright and more. If that 42 car is maybe a longer run car. Luigi Octavio, though, he's up there in points, and he's He's not doing well at all. Still mired back here in the 32nd position. Has nowhere to go whatsoever. These drivers that start back here, they normally finish back there unless something crazy happens or if some cautions come out. 4 second, 3 wide. Justin takes it 3 wide. Jay Jefferson gets caught in the middle there. Some contact made with the 99 freezing. They're able to keep it straight. And the 78 trying to take second. He's going to try and run down Andrew Miller now. That gap is definitely closing as they had gotten single file, but now with them battling again, might open it back up. We'll actually pull this up so you can see the gap. Yeah, it just went up a tenth that time because they were battling. It was down to under half a second. Now it's up over half a second as Justin Heath's going to try and take second there as Jay Jefferson really washed up through 1 and 2. Oh, Heath up into the 78 now. I think he saw how he raced the 29 and the 14. He said, I'll do that same thing to you, buddy. Don't do that to me. Now how's the gap? It's up again, now over 3/4 of a second. So when they get single filed out, they close in a little bit. But when they start battling it, it opens up big time. But there's still the everlasting possibility of a yellow flag coming out and changing the complexity of this race. These drivers are probably going to have to come down pit road at some point. So they definitely want yellow to do that. And as I mentioned it, yellow is out. Caution number 1. Stuart Grant and Lawrence Palapon. Griffin Lynn is involved. Your points leader, and they're still wrecking off of 4. But the big story is your points leader with heavy damage to the 36 of Griffin Lynn up inside the top 15, involved in a huge crash with just over half the race to go. Emmett Juckham is all torn up. Tim Gary, Stuart Gratton. And I would not be surprised if anyone decides to stay out here. I would be surprised if someone stays out. I'm not surprised to see everyone come down pit road right here. I believe we'll see everyone come down. Yeah, I don't think anyone's... Does 99 have some damage? Carter Friesen maybe got rear-ended there by the... Yeah, Buford has damage in the 4. Look at the damage he had. He rear-ended the 99 under yellow. Anything like that happened to any of our chasers, possibly? I think Oh! Joe Jefferson, I don't know if that's damage from the crash. I don't see any rear-end damage to anyone around him. 42 might have some rear-end damage. I don't know if these drivers are involved in the crash or if they just got damage from whatever happened there. So who's going to get out front? Miller with a quick pit stop. Heath in second. Who's going to get third? Tim Ranoff off in third. So these guys taking 2 tires. Galloway, Rains, Jefferson. I don't know if he beat that 29 out. It's going to be close there. So Miller came in with the race lead. His picker did their job. They got off with the race lead. But Chasers involved in a huge crash. Stuart Grant has damage. He's just coasting around. Griffin Lynn, your points leader with heavy damage. Emmett Juckham had damage. Tim Gary. So many drivers involved. Big crash here at Iowa. Well, this is kind of ironic. As they come off turn number 2, they're 3 wide. Stuart Gratton up top. Lawrence Palm behind the middle. And Griffin Lynn trying to make up lost ground from that start down low. And it looks like the 36 chases that 32 up the track. 32 gets into the 56, spins them down into the inside wall hard. Then once they ricochet off that inside wall right here, they come right back up the track. And here comes Griffin Lynn. Nowhere to go. And he gets it hard. And I mean hard. And Tim Gary committed. Carson Bowers. Cars go by. Spurley Tube gets damage. That's where Juckham got his heavy damage. Stapleton gets low. And then the 2 of Luke Rainey somehow spins his car. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they were wrecking there. Oh, Zidell hit the 38 and then spun the 2 out. I don't know if he was trying to just... Oh, and then the 33 hit him. Derek Hamill has damage. I'm wondering how some of these guys got damage because it looked like they may have rear-ended people. Like the 39, I think, may have rear-ended the 5 right here because he had pretty heavy damage. So yellow comes out. And from what I'm guessing... Oh, yeah, big stack up. Oh, 42 got damage in that. Coluigi. Jeff Bright, yeah, they just stacked up there at the back. That's one bad thing about also being at the back of the pack. You're stacking up. Look at this in real time too. That was a pretty big crash, pretty heavy hits right there. My gosh. And we do have an onboard camera with Griffin Lynn. Stuart Grant will definitely look to check those out. Yeah, the hard hit that the 56 and the 32 took to the inside wall as well. I just think the 36 kind of crowded the 32 up, maybe thinking it was clear or something. And then right here, this guy come up, and that's kind of ironic how the guy who started the crash and had it missed, and then cars just start coming in and take them out. So let's go on board Stuart Grant in the 56. He took a wild ride down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Like, so he's going along straight here and just gets hooked down to the inside. And there's nothing he can do trying to save the car, and he can't. He had it straight, and then those cars hit to the inside wall and up hard. Gratton's day is going to be done, along with, I think, the 36. If he's not done, he's definitely going to be slowed enough to where he's not going to be competing. Let's go on board Griffin Lynn. From that angle, he might not have even been there. It might have just been the 32 came up into the 56, and Lynn might have just been an instant bystander from all that. But that damage could definitely take that 36 out of this race. And look at them just start piling in, too. Nathan Stapleton has a ton of damage, and others. Miller's team did a great job on pit road. They get him out with the race lead. As Hilly is back to the green flag, he's dominated so far here at the Krispy Kreme 400. Going back green, here on lap number 30, so just one lap short of halfway. Lawrence Palapon, Tim Gary, Emmett Juckham, Joe Jefferson, Stuart Gretton, Carson Bowers, Michael Gregory, and Jonathan Beefer have all retired from the race. Nathan Stapleton is going to be laps down, and the 36 Griffinland still on the racetrack. That team getting the car fixed. They're trying to get there and get as many points as possible, but they're 33rd with a ton of damage. Andrew Miller still up front, Justin second, Tim Randolph third, Jake Galloway fourth, and Jonathan Rains rounds out the top 5 as we're back racing green flag back out for Andrew Miller. And he steps on the gas. He wants to get away from that 9 as fast as he can as they race through 1. Oh, he goes up the track a little bit there, but the 9 did as well as they come down the backstretch. Now Heath has to hold off Tim Randolph, off into 3. Way up the track for Justin Heath. Here comes Tim Randolph. Here comes Jake Galloway. They might be 3 wide off of turn number 4 for that second position. A little bit closer there, halfway. 30 laps to go. 30 laps down. 9 Justin Heath way up the racetrack. Miller does the same. And the 11 and the 92 have closed down to the back bumper. That 31 as they come down the backstretch into turn number 3. Galloway gets the second. Miller keeps that race lead for now. He's dominated so far at Iowa. But he still has just about half of the race left. So we mentioned how Griffin did all that damage. Let's see how the 36 is doing. He's on pit road again. So maybe that team thinking that they don't have it all fixed. So the 7 Riley Sprint have also come off pit road. Some cars with damage back here are fighting their way forward, but it's a short track. You're only going to be affected down the straightaways. In the corners, you'll be fine. That's the beautiful thing about short tracks. You can have damage, but you can still go. But if you have too much damage, you're obviously not going to be able to go. Here's a great battle right here. Cars just outside the front 7 have pulled away. Carter Freeze and TJ Hanley and Levi Schoen's in a big battle. As Hanley's going to move around for 8th, Schoen's trying to get to 9th. As up front, Heath battling back. He's going to get back to the second position. Jay Jefferson trying to fight his way back up into the top 3. He's going for 4th. He pushed Reigns once he get up the racetrack. Well, they're locking. I told you that 29's not going to be happy with that 78. That could have been a perfect chance to hook him into the outside wall. But then again, that would have taken himself out. If he has nothing to lose, though, he would definitely go out and wreck that 78, I think. Because he's probably not too happy with Jefferson with how he's raced so far tonight. But Jefferson being very aggressive. That's Miller's teammate, Nathan Stapleton, almost wrecking. And that's going to hold up Galloway, who's very used to this story at Pocono. He had the race won, and then the 4, Jonathan Beaver, got in his way. And Galloway falls all the way outside the top 5 with that. Tim Randolph moves around. Reigns has to get low right here. Oh, yeah, Pez has an issue off of turn number 2. He's spinning it sideways. He saves the race car, but he's down the apron coming to the pits. Yeah, Pez with an issue from the 13th position. Reigns still stuck up top, and that's his teammate, too. That's a tough break for him. So Miller leads. Jay Jefferson second. Justin 3rd. Eli Bright 4th. Have pulled away. 5th and 6th are in a battle. Jake Galloway and Tim Randolph. Levi Schoen's is 7th. TJ Hanley's 8th. And Reigns is still backing up through the field. He's finally going to move it 3 wide. Gets down for a Michael Canton. Now how's Cole Luigi and Max Harrison react to this? Luigi's in the chase, so he definitely wants to just get down low as quick as he can. He might have a shot right here. You have to get down when he can. He has a hole. He has to get down. He didn't. They're 3 wide behind him. The 5, the 00, and the 83 in a big battle. The 20 now joins that battle. Oh my gosh. These guys are racing pretty hard back here in the middle of the pack. Back up to the race lead because... Oh! Contact! Eli, Heath, and Jefferson did a great job saving their cars, but that could have been a big crash. My word. We still don't have 20 laps to go, and these guys are racing like it's the last lap, and Miller keeps pulling away because of how they're battling for second. Now 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th are in a big battle. Heath gets to 2nd. Can he try and run down Miller? If a caution comes out, that could definitely help them run him down, but I don't see a caution. Well, I could see a caution come out without them racing for 2nd. I'm wondering if Lynn's out of the race in the 36. I don't see him anywhere. I think that 36 might be out of the race. Look at them bound for 2nd here. This is a beautiful thing that we're seeing. This battle for 2nd is extraordinary. And Aaron Miller's loving what he's seeing. 21 laps to go, just doesn't want a caution flag. If no yellow comes out, he could probably win this race handily. But if they start getting single filed out for 2nd, like maybe Jefferson and Randolph might do right here, they can run him down. Because we saw before that yellow came out, when they were at points when they were single filed, they did run it down to under half a second. When they got battling, it got back up to over 3/4 of a second. So it all depends on if they can stay single file for long enough to run that 31 down. But Miller's been the class of the field all night long. Once he got out front, he was never touched. With them bound for 3rd, too, that's definitely not helping the cause. I like to point out that there are two drivers right now inside the top 5 that are hungry for wins. Jay Jefferson and Eli Bright, who have both taken so many long winless streaks and looking to get their first Gatorade Cup Series victory since season number 4. Both of them are. And, right now, Eli up to 4th. Jefferson is 2nd. So Lynn is out on the racetrack, but he's slowing on the apron. So I don't know if that's legal what he's doing or if something's wrong with that 36. But they should probably just park it if they're not going to gain points. I don't think off of this day. I think they might as well just park it right there. I don't think they can gain any more points. Galloway to 2nd as Jay Jefferson falls to 3rd. Eli Bright is 4th. You know that this 78 and this 88, they want nothing but a caution. You know, they're saying caution, 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 please. The 9 and the 14, even though they're not winning the race, they're 6th and 7th. They're right now the 2 highest chasers. They're like, please no caution, please no caution. I'm in a great position right here to gain points on Griffin. Lynn, who's back in like the 33rd, 34th position. And they're still swapping for 2nd, but they've definitely run down Miller a little bit right here. The gap was about 7/10 last time by, and they're battling this time again. So we'll see if it closes, or if it stayed the same, or if it's opened back up. Jefferson clears for 2nd. Eli Bright going for 3rd. Galloway is 4th. The gap has opened just a little bit. 16 laps to go. These guys might need a yellow. And we saw an unexpected yellow, though, so anything can happen. There's Rise Bird 2 going to the pits again. So these damage cars, obviously, they're having a rough time at the 7 and the 36 pre-damage. They're both in and out pit road every lap. 15 to go at Iowa. The Krispy Kreme 400 come down to it. The 6th straight race. And up front, Andrew Miller is dominating. He's led the most laps, but he goes up the racetrack. And Jefferson and Eli Bright could have a chance right here. If they stay single filed, as we were mentioning, they could have a shot. Because Miller looks like that car's getting tight. I don't know if he drove the tires off of it, but he's gotten tight at the track, and they have closed, and they may have cut this gap in half. It's down to under half a second. Miller is struggling, but with them, they might battle for a second once again. Eli Bright in the 88. He's hungry for a win, just like Jefferson. I say they have to stay single file to have a shot. They have caught Miller now. But now they're side by side again. This might hurt them. But down the straightaway, Eli has a run. 13 to go. The gap is closed once again. That time was by half a tenth. Eli Bright clears for 2nd. If he can get far enough away from that battle for 3rd, he could run down Miller and have a shot. It's been so long for Eli Bright. Oh, but he went up the track too with Miller, and that's allowing Galloway to close in. 12 laps to go. The gap probably stabilized right there, but they do have teammate Nathan Stapleton again ahead of that 31. But Miller going to move to the inside. No! He's spinning him! They save it, but the pack's catching! Eli and Galloway have caught along with Jefferson. And Miller, his teammate, may have just cost him a race win, or at least a guaranteed win. Jefferson's been caught up. He might not be able to get around. Front 3, pull away with 11 laps to go. Jefferson obviously going to be visibly upset with what just happened. Now it's a 3-horse race at the front. Galloway, 2nd, trying to run down Miller with 10 to go this time by. Eli Bright is 3rd. He still has a shot. 3 cars to settle at Iowa. 3 non-chasers. All have nothing to lose this season. They just want to go for broke for wins. 10 to go. Miller has to drive the perfect 10 laps. Galloway and Eli just have to be aggressive. They're running lower. They are gaining every lap. To the inside. Can Galloway get there? 9 to go. Oh, that 11 got really tight that time, and the car went straight. It may have been hitting the splitter that time down the backstretch. Now Miller's gotten back away, and they might start bound for 2nd again. But Miller goes up the racetrack. Now coming to 8 laps to go. Can Eli Bright get around and have a shot? 8 laps left at Iowa. Which one of these 3 wins can someone from 4th on back try and close and have a shot? Levi Schultz up to 4th. You're right now your highest chaser. And Jay Jefferson back to 5th. Coming to 7 to go this time by. They're still side by side for 2nd. Eli Bright finally gets by the 11 of Galloway with 7 laps of racing to go. They do have more lap traffic ahead. The 00 of Luigi Octavo is slow off pace. Miller goes up the track at 1-2 again. Eli hugging that yellow line. And off of 2 they come down the backstretch. Coming to see 6 to go this time. Miller does not want to give it up yet. They closed in because of Miller's teammate, But now he's opened the gap back up once again with 6 to go. That 31 looks untouchable as of now. But if he makes one small mistake, that 11.88 will definitely close back in. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. That 31 looks pretty good out front. And they keep Allen for a second behind. That's just helping Miller's cause out. I think Octavo hit the... No, that's Lynn again. I thought Octavo may have hit the pits and maybe given the lane. Eli falls back, and this might be a 2-horse race now up front. 5 to go. If the yellow comes out, the race is over. Now, something to note, if maybe the 11 and the 31 start getting balanced side by side, that could allow the 88 to try and close in. Or if they get caught up in the 00 of Octavo, because he is definitely going to play a factor. 4 to go. Miller trying to run perfect 4 laps. Galloway trying to close in. Eli Bright trying to close in for a second. They're coming to see 3 laps go. Oh, Lane coming off of pits. Luckily it gets down to the apron in time. Now coming to see 3 laps to go for Andrew Miller. 3 laps left. Not much time left for Galloway and Eli Bright. This might just be the 31, the 11 now racing it out. I just don't see the 11 again. Their Miller's not going up the track. Unless that 00 really holds up that 31, this could be Miller's day again. He won earlier in the season in the Sharpie 500. Caution is out. That's going to end it. Yellow is out. Dewitt has crashed. And that's the race. It is over. Andrew Miller, another victory in the Gatorade Cup Series for that 31. I don't know what happened to Dewitt there, but obviously he was kind of running slower in the back of the pack. He may have gotten wiped out. They're still wrecking up here. Isaac Nichols, Michael Canto, and Nathan Stapleton have all hit. Lynn is flying through the middle of this all. Trying to see if any other cars have damage. It looks like everyone else's cars are pretty much fine right here. So I don't know what happened there. But the white flag is out. Final lap for Andrew Miller and the 31 team. If you can just coast around one more lap, I don't want to give it to him yet because I've seen wilder things happen in these races. But Miller has one more lap and he's an Iowa winner in the Gatorade Cup Series. And Galloway and Eli Bright, once again, so close for those drivers. They just could not get there. They had their shot with the 27 and the 31 making contact, but man, oh man, they just could not get there at the end. Miller, hearing every noise that car is making right now, wondering, as long as nothing goes wrong, I'm going to win my second Gatorade Cup Series race this season. Both of which are going to come at short tracks under the lights. Down the backstretch. Has to make a half a lap more now. Off into turn 3. Think he's got it. He could probably coast it from there. Andrew Miller got out front. They battled for a second. Almost in a wreck with his teammate twice, but Andrew Miller dominates the Krispy Kreme 400 and wins at Iowa. And once again, a chase race goes to a non-chaser. Andrew Miller, a victory once again in the Gatorade Cup Series. As let's see how that final caution was caused. Dom Dewitt in the 22. Looked like went for a spin on the front stretch. Michael Canto's trying to get everything he can here. He's one of our chasers trying to just get up there at the end. He overdrives 3 and 4 and up into Dom Dewitt he goes and just sends both of them up into the outside wall and they spin around. And that's the reason for the final caution. They spin from the field. Right there up against the wall in the 09. I don't know if he gets hit. Looks like everyone else actually was fine after that. Just a 2-car spin, but the yellow comes out. And that ends the race early. Andrew Miller loved what he saw because he did not have to deal with the lap car that they were approaching, the 00 of Octavo. So with this caution, Andrew Miller gets the victory lane. Once again, the Gatorade Cup Series' his second Gatorade Cup Series career victory. Let's go check the finishing results. Here are the finishing results from the Krispy Kreme 400 at Iowa. There were only 2 caution flags for 6 laps, and only 3 drivers led this race after 2 lead changes. Andrew Miller, 57 laps led, the 60 total domination there at that 31 camp. They get to victory lane. RCR has figured out Richmond, Phoenix, and even Iowa. Those 3 tracks pretty similar. They figured out those tracks this season. Eli Bright and Jake Galloway, 2nd and 3rd. Jake Jefferson in 4th. Levi Shones, your highest finishing chaser, in 5th. He led 2 laps. Kyle Perry in 6th. Jonathan Rains led the first lap after starting on pole. He ends up 7th. TJ Henley in 8th. Tim Randolph in 9th. And just Neath rounds out the top 10. There's your top 20. How this race was crazy and wild for this chase standing because of how many good drivers up there in points actually did bad here today, and it really shakes the chase up. And now so many drivers have a shot going into the second half of the chase. 24 cars finished on the lead lap. Not many cars, or a lot of cars actually finished running, but the 7 and the 36 obviously had some issues there. They finished 15, 16 laps down. And we look down at the rest of the field. At the right side of the chase standings, 60 Griffin still has that points lead, but it has closed dramatically down to 2-point advantage over the 29 of Jonathan Rains. Code Luigi's there. Justin Heath is there. You know, the double zero for Lee Jack Table's there. This is right now a 4 or 5 horse race. After one bad race for the 36, everyone is back in it. As I mentioned, the system very forgiving. You can have 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 bad races. And it could just take one bad race for someone. You could drop down. That's the beauty of this system. You're just racing the other chasers. It doesn't matter what anyone else does. If under a different system, if someone finished second and someone finished 42nd, that'd be a huge points gap. But if someone finishes 5th and someone finishes 15th, that could technically only be 1 point. So this system provides a lot of excitement. It's going to be very close all the way down to Homestead. We've seen it every season with this point system that we use. So we're going to start out the second half of this chase with a bang as we go to 2 Mile Track in Michigan, the Pure Michigan 400. See you guys then.